Hey everybody, and Tony here with a review of Gounod's Faust with conductor Jacques Lacombe, which I saw last night at the Deutsche Oper Berlin. This marks the third time I caught this particular production of Faust because there was a young tenor by the name of Valentin Dytiuk who sang the titular hero, and there was also Nicole who sang the role of Marguerite, replacing Diana Damrau, who was supposed to make her role debut, but unfortunately she called in sick and also had a lot of other professional engagements to attend to. With that said, let's not waste any time and talk about the singers right now, starting off with Valentin Dytiuk as Faust. I was really excited to hear this particular tenor sing the role of Faust because from what I read, he may be only 27 years old, but he boasts such an ambitious repertoire. He basically started out as a lyric tenor singing the Duke of Mantua from Rigoletto, but these days he's also singing the likes of Ismaele from Nabucco and even a fair amount of spinto tenor roles. I was also quite skeptical because I was not so sure how his voice would hold up, but thank goodness did he exceed my expectations vocally. First of all, his voice was incisive. It had declamation. It had a certain richness which I like in any spinto tenor, and he has a brilliant future ahead of him. He definitely knew how to manipulate his voice to make it ring throughout the house, and for that, I give him a lot of plus points. However, I would have loved to have a little bit more variety and nuance in terms of his performance. And yes, his acting did tend to leave a lot to be desired, but when all is said and done, I was very happy to see someone as fresh and really awesome like Valentin Dytiuk perform this role. Sure, he could have used a little bit more style, a little bit more nuance, a little bit more elegance in the way he sang Salut demeure chaste pure, but I still have to give him credit for what he had to accomplish. He is still quite young, and once he reaches the height of his powers, I am sure that he will be a much better singer. Probably give him 5 to 10 years, and I'm sure that he will shine more brilliantly than he ever will be. Then we have Nicole as Marguerite, and I have been following this lyric soprano's career ever since I first heard her as Tatiana from Tchaikovsky's Evgeny Onegin, and boy did she not disappoint in the slightest. She continues to maintain her gorgeous, well-focused, mellifluous, and lovely full lyric soprano voice to the greatest of her abilities, and she was able to handle the jewel aria so magnificently. She was able to tackle the coloratura, she was able to tackle the florid lines, and she was able to prove herself so brilliantly as a fine and magnificent singer. She was also able to handle Marguerite's metamorphosis from the innocent girl in the first act to a girl who is slowly becoming a woman, to the haggard victim, to a young woman who is battling her demons, and finally to a woman redeemed, though in this production she gets killed with a lethal injection. She was able to perform this role so magnificently as she had a darling stage presence. What more can you expect from someone as charming, youthful, and elegant like Nicole? She pulled it off so exceptionally that I salute her for all of her efforts. Stealing the show as Mephistopheles was Almas Svilpa, whose basso cantante voice was exciting, rich, round, and cavernous, making him vocally ideal as the devil. He had a certain presence to him which made him all the more addicting to witness. He had this elegance, he had this masculinity, and he had the experience to show that he knew what he was doing from beginning to end. Given the fact that he is a stage veteran, He knew exactly what to do with Mephistopheles, and he indubitably set a good example for all of his colleagues, both as a singer and as an actor. He definitely won me over as Mephistopheles, and for that I salute him for everything he had to accomplish. Etienne Dupuis was charming, masculine, and valiant as Valentin, with his trademark cavalier baritone voice and those dashing features. He really knew how to make this character come alive. It should be no surprise that he has also been singing this role in a lot of different opera houses, and the experience that he has singing Valentin shows brilliantly. He was able to make Valentin quite the dashing, noble, and passionate character, and he was able to bring in so much style and nuance that I was at the edge of my seat. Friederike Brillenburg, who is a fine dramatic mezzo, stole the show as Marthe Schwertlein. With her focused tone, her absolutely fine acting chops, and the elegance which she was able to give to this character part, she was able to make Marthe a very lovable, fun, and enjoyable character. Yana Kurotsova was nuanced, stylish, charming, strong, and beautiful as Siebel. She was able to make him a lovable, charming, and absolutely wonderful character, all thanks to her trademark lyric mezzo voice, which has a fair amount of steeliness and lots of beauty and lyricism. And I also have to give credit to Dean Murphy for making such a strong impression in the small role of Wagner. So overall, the singing was absolutely brilliant. From Valentin Dytiuk's steely, young, spinto tenor voice, to Nicole Carr's charming portrayal as Marguerite, to Almas Svilpa's menacing Mephistopheles, to Etienne Dupuis' charming and lovable Valentin, to Friederike Brillenburg's wonderful Marthe, to Yana Kurotsova's boyish Siebel, and to Dean Murphy's great contributions as Wagner, this was definitely a great vocal tour de force accomplished by everyone. And the conducting done by Jacques Lacombe was decent. There were times that he lagged in certain areas, and there were times that he was able to do so well. And even though I would have loved to have a little bit more frisson in some of the areas that were lagging, I still have to give him a good amount of credit for leading the orchestra of the Deutsche Oper Berlin, and the chorus and orchestra of the Deutsche Oper Berlin were, as always, great all around. However, with the chorus, there were times I noticed that they kind of were lagging, but despite all that, they managed to show a good amount of perseverance, and nothing was a disappointment. So overall, with a brilliant cast headed by a young spinto tenor, solid conducting done by Jacques Lacombe, and everything coming together, I have to say that last night's performance of Faust was a definite treat. And for those of you who saw this performance of Faust, what did you think of it? Did you feel like Valentin Dytiuk did a good job as the titular hero? Was there another singer who stole his thunder? Or did you feel like there was someone who just didn't really hold up? Comment below and let me know. Well, that's all for now. Be sure to tune in much later for my review of the final opera that will be shown at the Deutsche Oper Berlin, Ponchielli's La Gioconda, starring Daniela Barcellona as Laura Adorno. So until then, have a great day, everybody, and have a great summer.